Hello everyone. Good day to all of you. Today, we will be having our next topic, which is the functions of assessment. But before we go to our new topic, I would like to recall the quiz that I had given to you regarding the scope of assessment and the introduction of our subject. I had discussed it very well with you. I think most of you did not watch my video well because your answer were very far from the questions. And I also noticed that you did not understand the question. Like for example, my question was, in 2 sentences, give reasons on why the following scope of assessment be evaluated. But most of you explained about the importance of assessment. I am not asking to let you explain about assessment. My question number 1 here is on the assessment of teachers. Why do teachers be assessed before you will be accepted in work? But your explanation was very far. I was very much discouraged of your answers because very few got low of scores, which is the highest is only 16 out of 28 items. Example, question number 2. Assessment of school programs. Why school programs should be assessed? I explained this very well to you, that school programs will be assessed because some of the teachers were overloaded of their number of minutes they handled the subject. And also, there are also teachers who are handling under load. As I had said, that the full load of teachers, you are having 380 minutes. Below that, especially line of 1, you are under load. Why is it that you are explaining in the other way? My dear students, remember, you are so many in these subjects. And I give you your grades based only on your performance. If you will not perform well, most of you will fail. Before having those questions, answering the questions, why not review the video if you forgot? I think most of you did not watch it. For example, the question number 3, why is it as there will be an assessment of learners? What is the importance of this? I had explained much to you that the importance of the assessment of learners is that after you have taught your objective, you are to evaluate in order that you will know if the students or our learners has reached to our goals or the task in our objective. But what happened? You explained in the other side. You focused much on assessment. I didn't ask you to explain much in assessment. And also, in the introduction, also in other questions I had given it to you, like for example, I would like to reiterate that I had explained this many times, that these 2 things are not synonymous or the same, but they are partners. What are they? Testing and assessment. Why are you answering the other words in which will not talk about the question. When we say they are partners, but they are not the same or the same scope or in this particular assessment. Next, we have also, my question here is, the Commission on Higher Education see to it that this particular offering of the subject must be aligned to the national competency-based teacher standards. But what have you answered? You answered assessment, you answered probability. I did not talk about much probability. Those are scope of the whole scope of our book of assessment of student learning 1. And also, I explained so much that when the scores are being analyzed and interpreted, this falls on the scope of assessment. But nothing has answered that. So, if this will happen again on the next quiz today after my lessons, because you are to answer another quiz and you will not be performing well, I think you will fail the subject. Be religious, understand of what is being asked. I give you 40 minutes for that. But in actual classroom, if we have the face-to-face, this will be answered only in 15 minutes. But I give you 40 minutes. The same is true to your quiz now after I will discuss on the functions of assessment and also the kinds of tests. So review the video so that you can answer the quiz. And because this platform is very, very easy for you to get high scores. But I think you did not give time in doing it. And I had also, in my first question, I had said here that before launching this curriculum of assessment of student learning 1, teachers were trained in using a global approach so they can deliver their services effectively, efficiently, and excellently. How many times I had made this, but you never got it. My dear students, I hope that you were able to have your book now from the library, which I leave to Miss Christine Estefania. And another, if you have an access to any of my students before, taking also the same subject assessment of student learning 1, you may borrow or you may buy from them. Because if you cannot get much in my discussion, you can review. It's either be from the video or from the book. It's really very difficult if you do not have the book. Most especially that you did not give focus on this particular subject maybe. Mind you, I am not giving you some points as your so that you can pass. Your grade will be your performance because you are 100 plus in this subject. So I make it sure that I have all of your records so that when you fail, you can communicate me and I will give you your scores so that you will know if you pass, why you failed the subject. I hope that you are, this is the start of the quiz that has given it to you. I hope that you will be improving for this second formative quiz. So, I will try to see if you can get high scores in this second formative test about the functions of assessment and kinds of tests. Okay, so much reminder I have given it to you. I hope that you have you inculcate that in your mind, because studying in this particular time in which we cannot see each other is really very difficult. But if you study the scope of the lessons given to you, there is no problem. Okay, so we go now to our main lesson for today. I had touched this one last meeting, some of the functions of assessment. But now I would like to repeat. So that you will be aware of what are the functions of assessment. As you look at it, the functions of assessment is almost the same as that of the scope of assessment. Number 1 here, subtopic under functions. Functions of assessment number 1 is to measure students' achievement. That is really very true. Like you, I am measuring your achievement based on your performance. So listen carefully, because this will come out also in my questions to let you tell me what is the measures of the subtopic that I am asking. Before I will proceed, I would like also to remind you, on the second part of my my formative test, I was asking there that in 2 sentences, give reasons why assessment of teachers and professors is being done. Why is it that some of you did not answer in a sentence? Some of you, you answered in a paragraph. So I will not give credit on that. I warned you already that answers will be numbered. I ask you only 2 sentences to justify why teachers or professors be assessed first before they will be accepted in the Department of Education or in any of the private schools. Why is it that you answered me in a paragraph of 4 sentences? I did not ask you in a paragraph. I ask you to make it very specific. It is per sentence, per numbered. And I also told you I also give you an instruction that unnumbered sentences will not be credited. But still, you did it. You are now 3rd year. You did not understand instructions. You know, instructions is very important. Do not go directly in answering the questions if you did not understand the instructions, because all of your answers will be wrong. I hope that this will not happen again in this second formative test after I have discussed the two topics today. So we go back now to our topic, which is measures of students' achievement. Why is it that this is very important? The same answer as we have in our scope, in order that we will know if our goal of our objective for the day is being achieved. That is the most important. Because if the goal or task for the day in our objective is being achieved, so I had said in the previous explanation, you have to proceed your next topic or next objective. But if most of your students or you were not able to get 80% of the result, do not proceed or do not go to the next objective because you were not able to reach the goal of the task. That is the very reason. Almost the same as in the scope. Measures of students' achievement. I hope you understand that very well. Number 2 here is evaluates instruction and teaching strategies. So, why do we evaluate our instruction and teaching strategy? Number 1 reason there was our instruction or our teachings effective? Because if our teaching is not effective, the achievement of the pupils will not reach to our goal for the day. So that's why our instruction, that is in relation also to the learner's achievement. It is from us where the learners can get or can answer of the question thrown to them, so that we will know if they were able to understand or answer or can get 80% in the whole class. 80% of your students can get your correct answers. So to your teaching strategies. So that's why I reminded you, if you have to retaught your, right later on we will be talking in that, this will be why it is evaluated, because we to know if our teaching, in our giving of our lessons to our learners is really effective. And is it your strategies? If is it effective? When your lesson, your teachings are effective, it means to say that your students will get also high performance. Students will rely on how the teachers taught in the class. So teaching strategies. In the performance of the teaching strategies, this will not achieve without your teaching aids. Always have or prepare teaching aids. It's either be through the use of your laptop, which can be shown in your TV, or an actual instructional materials that you have prepared in order that your students can have a hands-on activity, so they cannot forget of what would you like them to do. So the most important there, you cannot accomplish your teaching strategies without your instructional materials. So instructions and teaching strategies will go together. When you execute your lessons, you will be using your strategies. So if your strategies in your instruction is not effective, naturally, the students or the learners will never learn. Then you throw questions to the students without learning because you yourself were not able to give good teachings among them. Teachings, always the two words that always link together when we are to deliver our goods to our students will be teaching, that is for the teacher, and learners for the achievement. Learning, teaching and learning. This will be paired also because they are not the same. Teachers will teach, students will learn. The same is true to our previous, that we have the test and assessment. They are partners. Also in our teachings, teach and learn, also partners. Teaching will be done by the teacher, and learning or observing your lesson will be on the part of your learners. So, I hope that you understand of what do we mean, because good teaching will gain high performance. Not only you, because your performance will be taken from the performance of our students. If your students or learners got 80% of the topic or the subject matter of the objective of the day, you also got high performance. Because it is a performance of your pupils will tell you about your performance. Nobody will say, you are a very good teacher, unless that the performance of your pupils will be also high. So our gain will be from the performance of our students. Nobody, even though you have a very good communication skills, but if you are not able to transfer your knowledge to your learners, there will be no high performance. You will not gain anything. So, have always instructional materials that will help you in teaching your lesson, so that your pupils or your learners had hands-on activities. Nowadays, as I would like to reiterate, I have mentioned this already in our introduction, that nowadays we only perform 10 minutes of talking, 90 minutes is actual doing. That is to get our performance. And we will not be talking talking more than 10 minutes. As what I had said, we are facilitators in our classrooms. In the olden times, we are really teaching in toto to our children. But now, we will let our children learn of what they have discovered based on the instructional materials you have given to them. I hope you understand what they mean evaluates instructions and teaching strategies. Always do that. Our next topic is on the assesses lessons to be retaught. I had also discussed this last time. You have to assess why I was failure. I only got 65% or 60% of my output in my teaching. That's why I would like to reteach. Is it my objective has the problem? That the scope is very wide, not specific. So that's why it is you have to assess. Why? Before you will reteach your lesson. Do not just say, I will reteach it tomorrow. I hope that the children know. No. You have to assess, where did you fail? Where did you fail? Why is it that most of your learners were not able to give the correct answers? Where did you fail? Look at your strategies. Look at your strategies, because these are the basis of our performance. If the strategies is not good, we are in vain in our teaching for the day. You cannot move forward. Do not live your lesson for the day if your goal has not been achieved. So, inspect or examine or assess your strategies. Why your students or your learners were not able to answer your questions. You assess. Does your questions jibe with your strategies? Or are your strategies for the day really applicable for that particular objective? See to it that your objective, your strategies will talk about your objectives, because you want that your lessons will be, the goal for you today is based on your objective. So see to it that your strategies will talk about your objective. Because if you go farther from your objective, your strategies will go far from your objective. You will never accomplish your objective for the day. So, examine, assess, are all your strategies talks about your objective? Will this focus on in the achievement of your objective? That is the most important. Then after that, examine also, are your test questions were based on your objective? It might be you have taught well, but your test questions did not link to your objective. All test questions will be directed to your objective. These three steps in your lesson plan must work together in order to achieve your task for the day. From your objective, go down to your strategies, and go down to your assessment. Take note of that. You have to judge the three of them. If these three will go together, has a relationship with each other, mind you, you have reached a goal of a very good performance. I hope you understand of what I'm talking. Next, number 4 here, evaluates schools programs. So I have here, we also talk on our scope about the assessment of the school programs. Why is it that we assess our school programs? That I had said to you, for the college level, it is the CHED, the Commission on Higher Education, will be the one to evaluate. And for the basic education, from the elementary to high school, the Department of Education or DepEd will be the one to evaluate. What is the importance of the evaluation? Why is it that the school programs are being evaluated? In order that the curriculum, if this program really relevant, realistic, and responsive to the needs of the society today. Is this program, is this curriculum really real Is it really real? That's why it is realistic. Is it really relevant? If you understand relevant, will we say relevant? We have to has relationship to the needs of the society, so that it can respond to the needs of the society. Remember, these three in evaluation is the program, is the curriculum, or the programs in the curriculum realistic? Is it relevant? Is it responsive to the needs of the present society or in the community, where in our community as a whole? So we have three here in the evaluation of the program. You might forget this. Relevant, realistic, and responsive to the needs of the society. This is the most important. So that's why I said this is very important. The CHED made this an evaluation so that these graduates, the new graduate teachers who passed the LET exam, when they will be employed, they knew already on what to do, because they knew that this program is really relevant and very responsive, and it is real to the needs of our society. And if this program, the present program now, is not responsive, is not real, and it is not what is this? Is this not relevant to the present society? You can change the program. Do not follow. If you can have a book as your guide and you think that the content of that book is not realistic, does not respond to the needs of the society, do not use that. Look for another guide that talks about the three things in the evaluation of the program. I hope you understand. So you are being trained here now, more especially that you will be a new breed of teachers. Next topic, motivates learning. It motivates learning. You know, if you have your lesson well and you let your students be very much participative, and most of them will get high performance. So when they get high performance, they are now motivated to work more. Because with that particular in that particular aspects in which having high performance, we feel also happy, and we want to work more for it. So that's why we have said here, it motivates learning. So always remember, it is up to you as teachers. How will you motivate your learners to get high performance in order that they will be also motivated? Those children that are slow in the class, because I think there are so many circumstances that happened at home. Maybe they did not study their lesson. Because if you only study your lessons, my dear students, mind you, you will really excel in your performance. Non-studying of the lessons, everybody will fail. So that's why teachers should motivate. Give motivation to those students, especially when they say the high scores, they will strive more. But how about those getting very low scores? You try to encourage them also. Ask them, what's the problem? Why? Why is it that they were not able to to really work well in their studies so that you can help. And by that action, those slow learners will be also motivated because you told them that you have encouraged them to study more and guide them how to work well while having their having their period in studying at home. So teachers are also motivators. Next is to predict success or failure. Success or failure, as being said here, is being predicted through the assessment of learners. That is really very true. So, as what I have said, there is also still in relation of what I had discussed. Naturally, in order to us, there are times that when we got an examination, we fail. And there are times also that we pass the examination. So that's what we predict our success. So, in your prediction, see to it, if you are very much prepared to take that examination, you are very, very, you are very, very sure of yourself that you can pass. But if you do not prepare in that examination, naturally, you predict yourself that you fail. It's really very true. So you can predict your performance. The same as what you did in our first formative test. You did not predict, you have to predict. How will you predict? You want success? You study well. You want to fail? Do not study. You lost, if you do not study, you lost your time, effort, and your resources by staying, enrolling in school without gaining something. So, you yourself, as we had said, can predict if you can pass or not. So, if you always got a 0 in your scores, and other activities, you got very, very low. You got 65 in reporting and in giving also some answer, participation. So you can predict now that you cannot really pass the subject. So if you want to pass the subject, you strive because everything will be recorded. I am not memorizing your grade. If we have here and the face-to-face, you can see my record so that I will not be thinking of how much will I give you. So, for me, it is easy to add all your performance and give you the right rating. You perform well, you will pass. If you are not performing well, you will fail. So, you, as what I had said, you can predict if you pass or you fail. Next one. You have to diagnose. You have to say here, diagnosis the nature of difficulties. So when you will be a teacher, how will you diagnose the first day of your classes among your children? For example, you are handling grade 2. Grade 2, you are handling grade 2, grade 3 to grade 6, or up to grade 6. The first thing that you are going to do, or you are in grade 1, the first thing that you are going to do in grade 1 is to give a short examination or test to your pupils. It's either writing their names, writing their father's name, their mother, brothers and sisters, and because nowadays we have our we are now having our K to 12. We have our kinder. From 5 years old, they are now in school for their kindergarten. So they have now, they learn something already in school. So you have to assess them. If where are they? If where are they? Can everybody write their names already? Because nobody will be admitted to grade 1 unless you passed kindergarten. So we can assure, you can ask the test questions from the kindergarten teachers, and for the first day of classes for your grade 1, you give that to your grade 1 pupils so that you can assess in what particular aspect thus this child failed, so that you can assist them. Group them together, those who have the same problem, so that you will know what are you going to do, how can you help them. So in other words, if you're giving of the previous test from the previous level, you are to administer diagnostic test. If you are handling grade 2 and the opening of classes, you are to give the test from grade 1, test papers, to evaluate where the children are in mathematics, in Filipino, or other subjects that they had passed in grade 1, so that you will know where to start. The same is true if you are handling grade 3. Get the test papers from the grade 2 teachers, borrow them, and give diagnostic test to your pupils, so that you will know where to start your lesson. That is what we mean here by diagnosis, the nature of difficulties. Because you are looking, where are they? In where? Particular part of the lesson in grade 1 that they met difficulties. So you have to give some inputs in that. Group them together, those children who have the same problem, so that you can teach them in group. So I hope you understand what we mean by diagnosis, the nature of difficulties. Next, evaluates teachers' performance. So how will you evaluate teachers' performance? Nowadays, teachers' performance will be evaluated from the division office. For example, you are handling grade 5. Division test will be given per subject. It depends upon the subject if what they want to evaluate from the teachers. So, for example, science. They want to evaluate science. So, they give test to your pupils. So, those teachers, the result of the students' performance will be the performance of the teachers, as what I had said that before. So, division test will be given. Then we have the regional test, the RAT. They said that as RAT. So, means regional achievement test. For the division, they said as the acronym as that. Division achievement test. We do not have the district anymore because district is now removed from the offices in their particular schools. So they started from the DAT, that is a division, to the RAT, and the last one is to the NAT, National Achievement Test. So the result of those student pupils given by the test will be also the performance of the teachers. So if the performance of the students were not good, the performance of the that particular teacher teaching such subjects is not also good. So you have to work hard. That's why there are some incentives given to the field. Teachers who are having good performance will be given also high incentives. Teachers whose performance from the dot to the rat to the nut who got low, you have also a very low incentive. Others can even get 30,000 plus, 40,000 plus, given before this happened in our pandemic. But now, because of the difficulties of our time, in which we were not able to have the face-to-face, they stopped this one, but they give only incentive to the teachers of 5,000 for them to assist them their needs on the in the virtual instruction to their pupils. So that is on evaluates teachers' performance. So performance, remember, the performance of the students or pupils are the performance also of our teachers in terms of academic achievement, because there are so many things to be graded there when you have the when you evaluate the teachers' performance. So the first one there is academic achievement. So his or her academic achievement will be based on the performance of her or his pupils. Next, we have also talked about this. Evaluate schools' facilities and resources. Okay, so we have also talked on the different facilities and resources in our school. Why is it that this is very important? This is very important because all the facilities and resources in schools can help the teachers and the pupils used in their the part of the teachers can help in their teachings, and also on the part of the students can help in the research, like the library, updated books, updated guides. So that's why those are resources. Facilities are the pupils were being seated properly. In one desk, do they have 2 pupils only? Or chair with 1 child? But in our public schools, you can see there that in one desk, the pupils, there are 3 pupils because they do not have the facilities. So I hope that when you will be a teacher, try to have a good relationship among your parents so that you can have more, to add more facilities on the part of your pupils or students in the classroom. It's really very difficult, no? So this is the importance you have to evaluate, as what we have talked on the scope of assessment, that facilities and resources must be present in school. Evaluate schools' managers' performance or the principal's performance. Principal's performance will be also evaluated. So where will the principal's performance be taken? The principal's performance will be taken from the performance of the students, then the performance of the teachers, then the performance of, that is the performance of the school managers or the principals of the head teachers. So there will be, what is this? There will be a one-way performance. Huh? There will be one-way performance from the students, from the teachers, and to the principals. So remember that when you do not know yourself, if because you have studied fast in your masteral program after you graduated, so when you will be hired in school, 5 years after, if you are very much educational attainment, you are very much equipped with very good performance in teaching, mind you, you will be promoted immediately. It's either be on the line of a master teacher or on the line of school administrator. So, perform well. So, this is now the start of your performance. As students, practice performing well. Because when you will be a teacher, this will be carried on. There will be a domino in your performance. From the students to being a teacher, and you become a master teacher, and later on you become a heads of schools. Good performance is really our gauge being promoted. So because we do not like to stay in the classroom with such 22,000 salary for the whole life until we'll retire. If there are some incentives given by the government, that is very, very small. But if you jump to another qualifications based on your performance and your educational qualifications, very not so far to 10 years in teachings, even in 6 years, you can be promoted immediately if you can pass the principal's exam. So good performance will be based on the principal's examination if you want to go on the line of school administrators. That is the best thing that you are going to do. And in order that you have a good performance, try to supervise your teachers in teaching. Try to observe. If you have teachers who do not know how to teach, you try to demonstrate how to teach so that she can follow you. Do not apply to be a school administrator if you do not know how to teach. Because our role as a school administrator is that we are excellently, effectively, and efficiently doing in teaching. So I hope that each and everyone understood of my discussions that the performance of the heads of the schools or the school managers will be taken from the students or pupils to the heads of schools, from the teachers, and to you as the head of schools. So as I said, there will be a domino effect of what is the performance of our students. So work hard. Now that ends our functions of assessment. I hope if you do not have the book, as what I had said, you review again my video and take note of it, the most important, so that you can have your idea of what the discussions that I had given it to you. We have now kinds of tests. In as much as we are talking here of assessment, we are talking here of tests. So there are kinds of tests. As we have already talked on the scope of assessment, the functions of assessment, we are now to talk about the kinds of tests. Number one, what are these tests? Number one test is intelligence test. Why is it that this test is important? This test is important in order that each an individual can be assessed whether she is or he is genius, he is very superior, he is high average, is he only average, low average, borderline, or mentally defective. So this is the function. Why is it that you are given test? That's why in some schools, they give entrance test so that they will know in what particular section does this child belong. There are schools that they will not only follow the cards intersectioning, because the average is very high. But where does these pupils got this very high average? Only in physical education, good manners and right conduct, but not academics. The 5 academics, you have to look into the 5 academics that will be, they add together and get the average. That will be the basis, plus their entrance examination, so that they will know the level of intelligence. And they know if this child is very genius. If this child is very genius, this child will not stay in one grade for a year. She might be promoted 3 levels up to grade 3 in a year, because she is genius, very fast learner, very superior. Do not let this child stay for a year in your classroom. Test will be given to her. If she can pass for the grade 2 test, she immediately placed to the grade 2 class. And after how many months there, she will be given another test for grade 3, and she passed again, she will go to grade 3 class. That is for 1 year only, because she is very genius, very much superior. So most of our students in our class, we cater average. We have also some high average and average, and we have low average, and we have borderline. They got only 75. Like most of you, this will happen if you will not study your lesson. As what I had said, do not be contented that you are only in the borderline. What is the grade of borderline? That is 75%. So if you get 75% all the way up to the end of the semester, your grade is 75. You stay in the borderline. So if you are in the borderline, at the time that you will graduate, you will not be accepted as you cannot be hired, because you rank always at the bottom. Do not be contented to stay in the borderlines, because people from the genius up to the borderlines, you are normal. You are normal. What you need only is to study. You are normal. Up to the borderline, huh? All of you are normal. Study your lesson. But on the next step of the kinds of intelligence which is mentally retarded or affected your thinking, you're mentally defective, it means to say that you will not stay in the normal class. You will go to a special class, because there are teachers there being trained to assist these students, to teach these students, these learners. Because if you will stay in the normal class, you will be very behind. You will not be learning something. So that's why intelligence test is very important. Because if there are mentally defective pupils, they can find out, this will be transferred to a special class. Do not cater these students because they are your relatives, because they will not be learning from that class, your class. Pull out this and bring to the special class. If there are special class in your school, you bring this. Because there will be another test given to them if what level of their mentally retarded or defective are they. Are their mental retardation belongs to grade 1? They will be grouped together. Are their mental retardation goes to grade 2? They will be also grouped together. So they will be grouped there based on the level of mentality. So to help them, you try to bring this child to the special education class. Next, kinds of tests. We have personality tests. Why is it that personality test is very important? Because this will measure your interest. This will measure your interest. It might be that you are very good in mathematics, so you major mathematics. It might be that you are good in sports, like Hedelin Diaz, like those athletes that we have sent to the Tokyo Olympics. You major physical education. So based on your interest, that's why your personality test will be tested. You are good in English, so you will be taking in your college, you will be taking communication arts or majoring in English. That is the purpose of personality test. I hope you understand. Do not just say, I will get nursing, but you are not good in science. See to it that you are good in science, because nursing has an effect of science also. So if you are poor in that particular line of the subject, do not get that major as your major. So if you want to, you are very good in dancing. You are very good in what is this? In singing. Yes, you go to physical education because you will be trained there. That is under your multiple intelligences. Multiple intelligence. That is your intelligence. That is what we mean that. So personality test is very important to guide you in your course that you are going to take. So be sure that you have this interest will be tested, and you yourself, your sacrifices of coming to school will not be in vain, because you are on the right track of your profession. Next is aptitude test. Aptitude test also is a kind of test that will predict to measure person's likelihood. The same likelihood. The same is true as your personality test. But aptitude is quite difficult because it will predict. It depends upon the result of your test. The one who administered the test will now interpret in what particular aspects that you are good. There is somewhat the same as that of the personality test, but aptitude test will talk something about it. It's predictive because you do not know yet. If you do not know what is your interest, you have this aptitude test, because the result of your test is, as what they say, it is predictive. It depends upon in what particular aspect you got high. So you will be advised by the one who will be administering this test if what particular aspect do you belong. Are you, it might be you are very good in arts. You are very good in music. So you will be told by the one who assess you, who give you the test, because there will be an interpretation of the test after you got the aptitude. There will be an interpretation for that. So that's why it is predictive, because you do not know yet what is really your interest. Unlike the personality test, that you yourself knew already where you belong. But in this predictive aptitude test, you yourself do not know yet what is really my interest. So, get aptitude test. It will tell you what is your interest. Next, prognostic test. Okay, when you say prognostic test, this is also the same, almost the same as predictive. It will forecast, or it will tell you in what particular subject in school that you are good. This will tell you what particular subject in school that you are good. So there is an examination kit there that you are to use. We have the Iowa placement examination that will predict what subject in the curriculum that you are good. So the school or the center that administers these kinds of tests has a material that there are already test questions there that you have to answer. And the result of that will be evaluated or will be assessed by the one who administers the test if what particular subject in school you are really good. So these are ready-made there materials to test if what particular subject you are within. Next, performance test. Okay, this is very easy. We repeated this for many, many times. It measures of the things being accomplished. That is your performance. Like the students. If you give the test to the students, after you give the test, after you give your lesson, you give formative test, that is performance test. Anything, not only in a subject, not only on academics, or in other intelligence tests. Like for example, as what I have arts. After that, you evaluate. That's why sometimes there are contests on with one theme you are going to portray if what is all about. What can you do about that? So that is a performance test. Not only when we talk of a performance test, that doesn't mean that we talk only of academic. Anything, the work that given to you, and after that, that will be evaluated, and that will be your performance. Anything you do, drawing, dancing, singing, or anything you want to do, that is to be, that is what performance test. Next, we have already talked about diagnostic test. I have discussed this already, no? In relation to our functions of the test. This will be given before you start to make your lesson plan. For the new lesson, you have to give first your diagnostic test. You have to diagnose where the children are. We have discussed much this in our functions of assessment. Remember, when you will be a teacher, do not immediately start your lesson, but the first day of classes, orientation, the second day will be diagnostic test. Borrow test papers from the previous grade. Like for example, if you are handling grade 5, you borrow from grade 4 in order that you can diagnose the level of performance of your students. Next, achievement test. Achievement tests are the tests given. A long test, as what I had said, given by the DAT, given by the RAT, and given by the NAT. DAT, division, achievement, I will repeat. Then we have RAT, we have regional achievement, and the NAT, the national achievement. So that is on the achievement test, when you talk of achievement test. And as what I had said, this will have a domino effect from the performance of the pupils, because it is the students or learners who will take this one, not the teachers. It is the student or the learners, the performance of the learners, or the performance of the teachers, and performance of the heads of schools or the principal. Next, preference test. You will be given a test in order to know what is your field in your life. Are you really on the academic side? Are you really on the TESDA side? When we say TESDA, that is automatically, that is a hands-on activity. So that is what we mean by preference. What is your preference? What is your preferable work you want to? So you'll be given test there. Is it you are to be given? There is also a ready-made material there. We have the coder preference record. There is a coder reference record. So you'll be given the test there and will be analyzed by the one who give you the test. What is really your preference? Do you go to the academic side? When you say academic side, that is a what color job? Then will you go to the blue collar job? When you say blue collar job, taking courses from the TESDA, which is automatically you have to involve a hands-on activity. Do you want driving because you want to be a driver? You want to be an auto mechanic for 6 months? So, or any course in the TESDA. That is, there are two ways, pathways for academic. So if you think now that you are not linked to the academic because you are very, you don't like to study, why not shift to TESDA course? Because our purpose in studying is to earn money. But if you are not performing well in the academic, why pursue your academics? Why not go to TESDA? Because all of us, our objective here is to earn. When you go to TESDA, you earn money. When you go to academics, earn money. So if you are not good for the academics, why pursue yourself? You transfer to TESDA. Do not be contented of just to pass on the borderlines. Very difficult for you to hire. So remember that. So that's why there is what we call preference test. Next is a scale test. What is the scale test about? This is a test wherein there are kinds of tests. There are series of items be given to you if you can really detect the arrangement of subjects from the easier to the most difficult. So they arrange that already. There is what we called, there are materials ready also in the center or in the school, if they have in the school, to use. You will know in the scale, hadili kay scale, S-C-A-L-E, scale, scaling. Where are you? Are you very good in answering only on the easy test? Very easy? Or you are good also, not only in the easy test, but you are also good in the difficult test. So there is an order of the test. The most difficult, easiest one. So the material that you are using here is the Binet-Simon scale. Binet-Simon scale. So you can find this in the center or in the school, because there are also schools have this in order that they have to test their students. If there are students would like that you want to test, where are they? Are they very good in the difficult order of the test or on the easy order of the test? That's why there is a scale between the difficult and the easy test. Next, speed test. You knew very much what we mean by speed. It must be fast. So you will be given time. The same is true when you have your LET exam. There will be time given to you. If this particular page is good only for 10 minutes, you have to answer accurately within 10 minutes. So be always mindset if the speed test will be your test. This will be given in all kinds of tests, especially in getting the board exam, the civil service. This time bounded. There is really time bounded. So that's why speed, if it is 10 minutes, 10 minutes only. Go to the next page. If they will say this is good for 20 minutes, you answer that questions only for 10 minutes. So be, at least if you cannot answer the first question because it is difficult to you, go to the next question. If it is easy for you, answer first the questions which you think that is easy for you. Then leave the difficult one. Just go back later after you reach to the how many items in that particular page, in that particular test. So then you go back to the most difficult answer. Do not stay a long time in the difficult test because your time was not used wisely for your 20-minute test, a period. So go to the next item. You read the next item. If you can answer, you answer immediately. Go to the next item. If you cannot, jump to the next item. Then just go back. If you already finished all of the easy for you, as you think that it is correct for you, so that you can earn points there. So that is what we mean by speed test. You have to have your being alert, fast in answering, but you think before you answer. Next, power test. Oh, the test almost the same as the scale test, no? The test is being arranged from the easiest to the difficult, to the most difficult test. How fast were you able to answer the easy test? How fast were you able to answer the difficult test? So that is what we call, how much power have you invested in that two kinds of tests, the easy one and the difficult one? That is what we mean by power test. The next is standardized test. Standardized tests are the tests being formulated by you. It is just like in your research later on, because you are in the first part of your research 1. Standardized test means you formulate the test. After formulating your test, for example, your test is about English. After you have formulated your test, you let English experts to check your test questions. After she has checked your questions, you revise your test questions based on the corrections the English teachers has made. So after that, you try to give back to her or to him. If your revised test questions is now good, after which she approved that you have made a good questions. That is what we mean by standard. It means to say it is standard. It is not a teacher-made test. It is being checked by everyone, those who mastered that particular subject. So she should be the one to check if your test questions are correct before administering your test to your what is this? To your the one that you are your, what do you call that? The one that you being your subject of the study. The subject of your study. This is openly being done by the research. Like also for the DAT exam, the DAT achievement. This is also standardized. Example of standardized. It is not made by only after writing the first test. This was, for example, Araling Panlipunan. This will be given to the those who are experts of Araling Panlipunan. Then, or the one who will prepare in the division office are those experts, those who are supervisors for Araling Panlipunan, because she knew or he knew already the coverage of this particular subject. Also, the RAT, Regional Achievement. This is also an example of standardized. The same is true to the NAT, the National Achievement. This is an example of the, what is this? Of the standardized test. It means to say it is standard, which is being given to all kind of intelligence among the students. Next, we have the teacher-made test. This test is what we are doing now, the formative test, the summative test, which is being made by the teachers. These are called teachers-made tests. Our formative test, made by me, and also even it is your turn, made by you. So, these are all called teachers-made tests, in which this is not being standardized. So, see to it, as I reiterate, that these teachers-made tests will really talk on your objective of the test, related, as what I had said, from the objective to the strategies to the formative test, related by each other. The last one here is the placement test. This test measures if you apply a job, you will be given test. If you will apply to be a clerk, so your test will be also about the work of the clerk. If it is really true that you are good in preparing everything, because clerk is a secretary of the admin, that you are called a clerk, because you are what you want to prepare. You are good in communication, you are good in writing memos, because that will be checked by your administrator if your memo is correct. So that's why placement test is being given. You apply, if you want to apply to be an accountant. So your test also will be about accounting. If you are really prepared to have to handle this particular office, to be an accountant officer. So I hope, my dear students, that's the end of our lecture for today. I hope that everything that you have discussed, you can have a review if you do not have the book yet. And as much as possible, you go now to the library and look for Miss Estefania, so that you can have your book. And another alternative is to look for somebody, students who were already under me, because this is the very book that we have. You know, we have also assessment of student one book in the library, but it is not the same as this book, that it really teach us about assessment. They are very much the same. So I want you to have this book, even though this was still in 2012, but it is still very workable. It is really relevant. It is really realistic, and it is really that responded to the needs of my students. So that's why I use this. I already scout in the different bookstores, but I cannot find the book of Dr. Calmorin. So I want even to ask the number in the Rex bookstore. I'm asking the number of Dr. Calmorin so that I can communicate, but did not know because the book were only delivered to them. I bought one there, but it is not really as good as this book. So to all of you, for the next meeting, I will be posting for this week the reporters of who will be reporting on Monday, on the 16th of August, because this will be my last lecture to you. We will be starting our reporting on Monday, 16. We will be starting on chapter 2, because I already discussed chapter 1. And I hope that those who will be assigned can deliver the report immediately, because if you cannot deliver the report, we don't have any time anymore to go back to you, because you are so many enrolling this subject. So we go to the next reporter. So it's up to you now to study the topic being handled by that particular reporter, because I will be including that in my summative test. I hope we understand with each other. Okay? So to all of you, keep safe and good day to everyone.